Hey, what's up, YouTube fam? It's Dupree, aka Darth Vader, here with another one of my Star Wars stories. This one's kind of a hard to believe story. The first time I actually met the creator. I should say the first and only time I've met him. I've seen him a few times over the years, but the first time I met him was, oddly enough, in 2015 during the big year of Star Wars hype. He had just sold Lucasfilm to Disney a few years prior to that, and 2015 was the big year of Star Wars. Like, The Force Awakens was coming out, so that generated a lot of hype and a huge resurgence in Star Wars. Star Wars Rebels was coming out. D23 was just about to happen. San Diego Comic-Con had a giant Star Wars booth, so they were pumping out a lot of Star Wars content. They brought all the cast together, the big three, Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, Peter Mayhew also, and a few other cast members. This big panel event. Like I said, it was a really big for Star Wars, if you guys can remember. That was before, the dark times. So this story is kind of unbelievable, and I cannot make this up. It was a day before D23. If you guys don't know, D23 is Disney's convention that they held every 3 years. So I had tickets to that. But the day before, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna go to Disneyland because I have an annual pass, and you live in Southern California in Orange County and you have an annual pass, you're gonna go to Disneyland randomly, to meet up friends, blow off steam, ride a couple rides, have some terrible food. My game plan was I was gonna go to the California adventure side and hang out with my friends. I used to do a little shortcut, so instead of going all the way through downtown Disney, I would go and cut through the Grand California Hotel, which was right next to downtown Disney, and then there was an entrance right there from downtown Disney, so you could go through the hotel, like a side entrance. And then that side entrance would lead you behind and in through the hotel, through the pool area, which would go into California Adventure, and would let you out next to Big Thunder Rapids. So it was a cool little shortcut, A lot of people really didn't do that, or a lot of people didn't know. But like I said, me being a pass holder and going a lot at that time, I think I was going to Disneyland 3, maybe even 4 times a week. I was obsessed. I knew about that. It was a thing. So parking lot, on a tram, downtown Disney, and then walk through the side entrance of the hotel. And I remember distinctly, I had some random Star Wars shirt and my super Star Wars backpack with Star Wars print all over characters and everything. Walking kind of fast, and then I go through the main hallway, and I'm walking, and the main hallway of the Grand California never is really crowded, and you never see a group of people doing anywhere. Out of the corner of my eye, I see a plaid shirt and white curly hair, and then I look out of the corner of my eye, and I'm looking at this guy I'm looking at this shorter, older man talking to one of the managers there at the hotel. And it's just that man and the hotel manager talking. That's it. And there's not a crowd of people around them, anything. And I'm thinking to myself, why does that guy look kind of familiar? It dawns on me, you see the New Balance shoes, the dad jeans, the plaid shirt, the white curl hair, and the glasses and everything. And I'm like, is that George Lucas? It can't be. It can't be. I was 80% sure that it was him. And then I wait. I stop and wait. I didn't want to be that annoying fan, that annoying, awkward person that runs up to him and just like, oh my God, George Lucas, like, interrupts him and everything. I didn't want to do that. So I politely, like, just waited for him to finish his conversation, because he looked like he was talking about the hotel to the hotel manager. So the hotel manager and George finished their conversation, and George starts looking around, strolling, and then I don't run up on him. Like, I calmly walk up to him, and I'm like, hi, excuse me, sir, would you happen to be George Lucas? And then he turns around and then looks at me. He gives me a look like up and down. Why, yes, I am. As soon as he said that, my heart started beating like all fast. I got a little glassy-eyed, and I never get starstruck. Like, I've met a lot of famous people and a lot of my childhood heroes. That was just the moment. Like, I remember saying, I just wanna shake your hand, sir. Like, you made my childhood. Your movies, like, really affected me growing up. I'm in a few Star Wars groups because I'm in the 501st Legion, giving back because of you. And I just want to thank you so much for what you've done for me and the community. And then he says, why thank you? Why thank you so much? And I shake his hand, and I kid you not, like, I shook his hand, and like, as soon as I got pulled away, it started just like shaking, like, it's like, I've never had that feeling before where I got like starstruck, and that was the first and probably the last time I've ever had that. I walked away. I didn't leave the hotel. I walked to another side of the hotel, and I was so just like, oh my God, I have to tell somebody about this. I go to my phone, and my phone, I notice, is at like a low percentage. It's at like 5%. I call one of my friends. I call my friend Alex, and I'm like, oh my God, dude, like, you wouldn't believe who's in the hotel right now, who's in the Grand California Hotel. And she's like, who? I'm like, it's freaking George Lucas. And she's like, no, like, you're kidding. Like, no, seriously, it's him. He's here in the hotel right now. I just met him, or walked up on him and shook his hand. And then she's like, are you freaking dumb? Like, go take a picture with him. Like, go talk to him some more. And I'm like, oh my God, yeah, you're right. Right, all right, I'll call you back. George, keep in mind, George is still in the hotel. And then he walks over to, he's like slowly strolling around. And the funny thing is, he's so unassuming. Nobody like really like came up to him or recognized him or went even or came up to talk to him. Like, you would think, like, he's one of the most famous people in the world, like, you would think, like, he would have like security with him, or like 1 million people would flock up on him just to like bug him to talk or whatever. But nobody did anything. Nobody said anything. Nobody walked up. It was really weird. He went into a store, like, there's a little shopping store right there where you can buy souvenirs and stuff. And he's like looking around, like picking up stuff. Like, it's funny, he's like looking at the prices or whatever, putting stuff down, like, it's too expensive. He comes out, I walk up on him again, not trying to be like, a crazy fan, all that. Excuse me, Mr. Lucas, would it be possible if I got a picture with you? And then he says, in his, George Lucas voice, why, I don't think we should do that, because if we stop to take a picture, then people are gonna notice, who I am and everything, and then it's gonna be a little problem. I'm like, oh, okay, but I'm sorry, but like, can we maybe just like really quick right here in the corner, since like, it's not a lot of people around? He says, okay, really quick, very quickly. So I take my phone out again, and we're about to like, take a selfie. And then it's in low power mode. Like I said, 1%, I take it out, pull that camera app out. We're like, I have my arm on his shoulder, we're about to take a picture, and then my phone dies. It literally in my hand right before I can like even press the button. And I'm like, oh my God. I did not have a phone charger on me, a backup charger, anything. Literally one of the worst moments to have, your phone be on low power mode. I try and turn it on, and I'm like, oh crap. And he says, and then he does the coolest thing. So he says, you know what? Well, we'll take it on my phone. Here, we'll take it on my phone, and then put in your email, and then I'll have my assistant, email you this picture. And I'm just like, wow, okay, yeah, sure, let's do it. That would be great. And I'm trying to hold my composure because inside I'm like exploding. He takes his phone out. He lets me hold his phone, and so we take the picture. The same pose, like selfie and everything, smiling and stuff. And he puts it, take like 4 pictures on his phone, and then I put my email in and everything. And then he says, I'll have my assistant send it to you, within the next few days or whatever. And then he says, what was your name again? I'm like, my name is Dupree. I'm in the 501st Legion here in Southern California. He shakes my hand again and says, thank you for your service. I'm like, thank you so much. And then he walks away. I'm like, crap. Like, I'm trying to turn my phone on because, sometimes, you can turn your phone on and for like literally a few seconds, you can do something like take a picture and then the phone will die. I don't mean for this to happen. Like, he walks down the hallway outside towards California Adventure to the same way that I happen to be going. So it's like he leaves and then like I'm leaving like almost in the same way. So I'm like, say, oh, sorry, sir. I'm like, I'm not trying to follow. It's going that way. I went into the Hearthstone bar to see if I can charge my phone up. So I go in there. Luckily, like there was a person there. There was a person there where a charger had like a charger. I guess there's like these rental charger things you can have. So this girl just gave me like a charger, so with barely any power on it. She's like, hey, you want it? Like, yeah. So I take it, charge my phone up for like 15 minutes. I start walking towards California Adventure, and then I pull my phone out and I try and pull up to take a picture because it's like in my head I'm like, what if he doesn't send it? The pictures that we just took on his phone. So I'm like trying to hurry up and take a picture of him as he's going into the Storytellers Cafe, which is right there in the walkway. Luckily I was able to pull it up and take a pic, and as soon as I pulled it up, and clicked picture, the phone died immediately, half picture. So I didn't even know if I took the picture or not. As he's walking down the hallway, he goes into the Storyteller Cafe, and then that's the last I see him. So I go into the park and I get one of those rental chargers that they sell like somewhere. Like you can rent a little phone battery charger, but you have to put it back or whatever. So I charge my phone up, and then I call my friend. I'm like, dude, I don't know if I did, but I think I got a picture of him. And then he also took a picture of my phone. My friend was just like, dude, I can't believe that. Until you have a picture, I'm like, no, he's really here. Like, and then I called my girlfriend at the time. I'm like, babe, like, George Lucas was here. Like, I took a picture with him, and and I don't generally sound like, like all super excited jazz like that, because only like you meeting your childhood hero can make you turn into that person. I was in the park for maybe an hour, and then I walked back through to the Storyteller Cafe back into the hotel, and then he's still there. He's still there wandering around and everything. And then, like I said, my phone hadn't been fully charged, and it died again. And then he sees me, just waves. And I'm like, oh, God, like, this is the worst time to just have my phone dead. He's walking around, sees me, waves, and say, oh, it's you again. Some random hotel just walked by me, and they stopped me like, hey, was that George Lucas? And I'm like, possibly, or whatever. And they're like, oh my god, that's so cool. Just like, yeah, it's really, really cool, man. I'm like, yeah, it would be cool if I had my phone right now. But anyway, he just goes back to his room, around the park some more, and I meet up my friends finally. And my friend was like, dude, you wouldn't believe who's here in the park. And I'm like, yeah, it's freaking Joe. And cuts me off, Johnny Depp. And I'm like, Johnny Depp? What I found out at that moment that I hadn't met George was that Johnny Depp was actually in Disneyland, on the Disneyland side, in the Star Trader store. I had a friend who actually worked over there as one of the cashiers, and he told me, like, yeah, he stopped in here with his hat and everything, and nobody noticed him. I found out to come to realize that they both were receiving the Disney Legends Award the next day at D23. So that was the reason why both of them were actually in the park. Apparently George, if and when he ever comes to the Disney area, likes to stay at the Grand California Hotel. There's a suite upstairs, like a huge suite that he always stays in. And same thing with Johnny Depp. Like, there's actually a quote-unquote Johnny Depp suite. I didn't see Johnny Depp at all, obviously, like, you know, which, you know, is a little bummer, but, you know, I saw and met, you know, George Lucas, and that's all I really needed, and that was big for me at the time. That was one of the cherries on the icing of the Star Wars cake of 2015. That was a big year. I had gone to the Force Awakens premiere, which I'll tell in another story, and kind of saw him from afar. And it was San Diego Comic-Con was big, D23 had happened, and then that meeting with George Lucas. So, so when I got home, I immediately charged my phone to check and see with the picture that I got. What I ended up was this. Like, the worst picture proof that, you know, George Lucas was in the park. Like a blurred back paparazzi, like, butt shot or whatever. But it's just so funny, and I remember showing that to a couple people after telling them the story, and they're just like, you know, I wouldn't believe this, but at the same time, it's like you can see the New Balance and the dad jeans and the plaid and a little bit of the top. Yeah, I could believe it's him. Yeah, I could believe it. I learned a valuable lesson that day. Always carry a phone charger, like a cable and a backup power charger, because you never know what is going to happen and who you may meet. So about the pictures that he was supposed to send, he never did, which I figured he wouldn't remember. I mean, you know, somebody that busy, he's not going to remember every little thing. But, you know, it's okay. I'm still holding hope that one day, his secretary, whoever that may be, goes through his phone, notes or whatever, and emails me those pictures we took. Yes, this has been my Star Wars story about how I met George Lucas. I have tons more stories kind of like these. Let me know what you guys thought about this video. Let me know, you know, stories you guys might not have of meeting like your childhood heroes. Let me know if you had the same kind of story where your phone died in the middle of you taking a picture like this today. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe and share. And I will catch you guys in the next one. May the Force be with you. Bye.